Hey guys.
Oh, there you go. How are you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Turn you up.
That was an impressive win.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, thorough. You go down two at the start, and then you really turned it around. What'd you like about it?
Well, as a coach, what I liked about it was that their team, made us play the right way. Um, I think early on they were in our face, as advertised. They were on the forecheck as advertised and playing fast, and I think we had to catch up. And then obviously, I loved our response to that, going down 2-0, and we looked like we were a little bit sleepy, let's be honest, and they took it to us a bit. So it was a great response. And then once we started to advance pucks and play with some speed and and get after it a little bit, and then get pucks in the net, and we started to open things up. I thought it was a good second two good last two periods for sure. Patrick Williams coming in. So
Lauko
sorry.
Lauko had a strong game.
Yep.
Uh, and I know we've talked about fighting. You don't necessarily want him dropping the gloves all the time, but on the other hand, you gotta love it when he sees a teammate take a hit and he jumps in. That's what you want from a young
Yeah,
guy.
um, Laux is a not a funny player, but he's an intriguing player. He's very young, and I think he's still finding his way. He's shown, now on multiple occasions his willingness to defend teammates, with a fight, and so. Um, we talk about him not wanting them to do it. My only fear is of injury, but to be honest with you, he's handled himself just fine in all of them. So that's going to be part of his game. I'm not going to discourage that, and I think his teammates and our organization certainly value that. So we're not going to push him over the boards to go fight a bunch of guys, but at the same token, when he came back to that bench, I guarantee you all 20 guys on the bench were certainly very, appreciative of his efforts and very impressed by the young man for sure.
Uh, Akanainen, I thought had a good game today. He made a great pass there on the last goal. I think he was on the ice for 3 goals, four. What are your thoughts on him today?
I did. I thought the same. I thought he was skating well, harder on pucks. I thought he closed well in his own end, and then had some buzz offensively when it came over that blue line. It was a great play to finish there at the in the end of the third for that goal. But I thought he was active and looked like he wanted to make a difference, which was great to see. We've certainly encouraged that out of him, and we've seen it in the past, and hopefully it continues.
Last one for me, Jack O'Shawn. He's been up in Boston for a while, hasn't had a lot of ice time, but I was impressed with him today. The way he was breaking out of the zone and entering the offensive zone. I think he thought he looked really sharp today.
Yeah, it's we've talked about this multiple times, but it's a real challenge to come down from the NHL, especially this year. I mean, usually a player who's come down from the NHL, he's still practicing with the team. He's still playing games, but with the extended roster, you don't know what these kids are doing on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes they're in warm-ups, sometimes they're not skating. You just don't know. So these guys are up against it. So for him to come down and perform like that, really, um, just right out of the gate was really impressive. I thought Sinishin was the same thing. That's a tough thing to do. So. But Jack, to your question, was excellent. I mean, at both ends of the rink, I thought he broke out pucks well. He defended well, and then obviously was very active on the offensive blue line, creating havoc for the other team. So he was certainly a guy that stood out.
Thanks, Jay.
Okay, you got.
Uh, Jay, on a bigger picture with Vakanainen, what have you thought of his season? He's kind of in that stage of his career where you really want him to take control of this lead in this play. What have you seen from him?
Well, he's got all the tools, with the skating. The season itself is very similar to a lot of players' seasons this year. I would say it's just very hard to get consistency in a very inconsistent world that is pro hockey right now. So, I thought he had a good start with us. He went up. He had an excellent 2 games, one in Tahoe, and then I'm not sure what the other one was, but I know he was, upwards of 22, 23 minutes. And then I think we do forget how young Vax is and young as a defenseman. He's all of 21, 22 years old, and it takes some time. So he's had his ups and downs, but certainly come to the rink every day with a great attitude and wanting to get better. And today I thought I saw a bit of what we saw, a month or two ago, with some juice inside him, with wanting to carry the puck and make plays and do all those sorts of things. So it's a process, as you know, and as you've seen especially with young defensemen, it just takes some time. I'm very encouraged with his attitude, and certainly encouraged with the way he played today, and what I've seen when he plays like that in the past, and it'll get better and better. The consistency will come, and I think it'll be nice for everyone when we have 76 games or 82 games, whatever it is, where you can establish some consistency, and you can live in a place for a while, and you can go to practice and be on a team and do all those sorts of things. And I think you'll see some more consistency in that. But we're very excited still with Vax by all means.
With that inconsistency that these players find themselves in the middle of, how much as a coach can you try to navigate them through that, and how much is this just a case where you have to just let this whole thing play out and ride through it and let
Yeah.
it come as it will?
Well, it's an adventure for me as well. If anyone knows me, I'm someone that's fairly analytical, and I certainly want to do my best in preparing guys. And in a season like this, it provides so many challenges. Am I pushing too much? Is there too much talk about the season and the inconsistencies? Is there too little? So it's a balancing act. And I think we have to do our best just every day of just getting a pulse of the room. There are days we're in a certain situation here in Providence where we don't practice at home or play at home. Really, I mean, we're out of our room in Providence, but we practice in Pawtucket, and we play up here in Marlborough. And so I think it kind of goes a little bit unnoticed, but the fact that we drive every day to another rink, it can get challenging for players. I mean, it's not as long as a regular season, but at the same token, every day, they're coming into one rink and then they're leaving, they're going to another rink, and then either getting on the ice for practice or a game. So it's very challenging. I think you're going to have days that just stink. I think that's what I've learned. There's just going to be days where it stink, and I think sometimes it's best to just let that go and start fresh the next day. I certainly think focusing on some of our leaders to make sure that they're excited, and on board with things, and do we need to change something? It's nice to hear from them. But I do think it's so cliche, and I certainly don't want to be cliche, but every day is something new. And so day by day, we just have to tackle it, and just with the goal in mind that, we have something, when we look back on it, that's showing some growth and some development and a positive experience for our guys. And, I think if we have that goal in mind, and then have the realization that it's just not going to be perfect every day, it's probably all we can do.